Hey guys, and welcome to Faith Works Designs. I'm Faith, and today I'm having a bad hair day, so we're wearing a hat. Today we're doing a pattern review by Sewflo, and it is called the Tiger Lily Tote. Now, I've wanted to try some new patterns this year because I need to learn new skill sets. I want to learn different ways to make bags because you can do the same thing over and over again. You can do the same patterns over and over again, but you're not going to learn anything. So I went hunting around on Black Friday and I found this pattern, and I asked them if I could do a review for the pattern, and I really like it. So let me show you the bag. So it's a shoulder bag, and she has several variations of this bag. So the first one is you can have like a slip pocket, and then on the other side you can have just like a straight back. You don't have to cut anything out. I went ahead and just made it as difficult as possible and made all of my bags have slip pockets on both the fronts and the backs. I like the color blocking, and I like how they all turned out. So I'm glad that I did it. So you've got little O-rings. They just, I don't know, it just looks like a really expensive bag, and it looks really nice. So in one of her variations you can have like a zipper going across there if you don't want a slip pocket, again, or you could just have it solid. It's up to you, whatever you want to do with your bag. It does have a recessed zipper, which is nice. I really like recessed zippers, and I also like that it was suggested to have the vinyl on the inside instead of just like the lining poking out. You can have that nice looking, so it looks nice on the, just when you're kind of looking at it like that, you can see that it all kind of looks the same. So I don't know, I just like it. So when you open the recessed zipper, I use black fabric for lining, and I'm so sorry. There are two slip pockets, and they're nice size slip pockets, and then on the other side there is a really nice deep wide zipper. Make sure that you follow the pattern for that, because you're going to be turning this thing inside out, and if you're using the kind of vinyl that I'm using, it was roof. So no, it just depended on what vinyl I was using. Like this particular one was a little bit thicker. Another one that I was using was a little bit thinner, and it was a little bit easier to turn it inside out. So it just depends on which vinyl you're using. So all in all, is a pretty easy sew. I don't know that I would say it's beginner friendly, but it's a really nice bag, and it looks really expensive and really fancy, and that's kind of what I was looking for when I was looking for my patterns. So in today's video, I am not going to be showing you step by step on how to make the bag. I'm going to just kind of be doing an overview, things that I like, things that I don't like, and then kind of going from there to let you guys know my opinion. I don't have permission to do a tutorial, but I do have permission to just kind of review the bag and let you guys know what I think. So let's get started. Alright, so step one is cutting out all of the pieces, and when I bought this pattern, I was looking at the front, and I knew that all of this was going to be all separate, and there were going to be a lot of pieces. So when you start printing things out, don't get kind of overwhelmed with how many pieces you're going to have to cut out, because from my experience, it's going to come together really quickly. Like, as far as sewing it and everything, it's going to come together very quickly. So I have got all of my pieces all cut out. Now let me say this. It's a very expensive looking bag. Like, it is, okay, but it has a lot of pieces. So what does that mean? That means you need to charge a little bit more for this bag, because you have to cut out this is just the outside. You have to cut out so much. You have to cut out your interfacing, you have to cut out your outer fabric, and I haven't even touched the lining yet. So here's my suggestion. Make sure that you charge enough for this bag. Secondly, try and batch sew this. I'm doing 5 right now because I want my profit per hour to go up, and if I'm just doing one of these bags, my profit per hour is going to be small because it is a lot of pieces. It took me a couple hours just to cut out everything that I've cut out, but I am doing 5, so keep that in mind. But anyway, I would batch sew these. I've got quite a few of them cut out, and that way my profit per hour goes up. And if I can charge, you know, $70 a bag, I'll get more of a profit because I've got more finished towards the end of my sewing project. I will say I think the cutting is going to take the longest amount of time. As far as sewing it together, I'm pretty sure with all of my experience that it's going to go together really quickly. So I'm not worried about that. It's just a matter of how much stuff you have to cut out to be able to get to that. So let's put it together. Alright, so I figured out the reason why I had so many pieces is because I made the slip pocket on both the front and the back. So you don't quite have that much to work with. So anyway, my battery is dying, but I wanted you guys to see how pretty they are. And just like I said, they went together like super fast. So don't get discouraged about all the pieces. They go together really, really, really fast. Alright, so it took me a couple of days to get all of these done. Stuff just kept happening. But they're all done, and I did want to share a couple of things with you guys about the pattern that I struggled with, or kind of, yeah, just my likes and dislikes. So for one, do not use a thick vinyl. This vinyl is gorgeous, but I feel like I should have made the little pieces here a little bit longer when I tucked them in. But it's just too thick that I can't get a rivet through here, which really sucks because this looks really nice. So don't use a thick material. The next thing that I would suggest when you're doing this pattern is this spot right here, this fabric. When I was sewing this part, when it tells you to sew it all together from the lining and the outside fabric, I would start at 1/4 inch and then go up to 1/2 inch, because this is so tight to get this fabric in there. So I started doing that, and it started all fitting a whole lot better doing it that way, just so that I had more room to kind of shove that top in. Another part that I had and I was struggling with was the bottoms. You can probably tell by the bottoms of my bag, especially that one. I just kind of struggled. I struggled with the bottom, and it may be just user error. It could be just user error, which is fine. We all learn with new patterns. That's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to learn a new pattern. So other than that, I love the construction. I love how she has you do everything. Do not get overwhelmed with all of the pieces. All of those are just kind of options so that you don't have to do your purse one way. You can do it several different ways. So I really, really like that. I also want to say the front and the backs were really quick to put together. Like, I know it was a lot of pieces, but it was really, really quick to put together. So I enjoyed this pattern. It was really fun. It looks really nice. It looks expensive, and it just looks really nice. So I'm really pleased with this pattern. Oh, I also forgot to say, in the pattern, she suggests these O-rings. But I didn't have a ton of O-rings, and I was trying to get more than one purse, so I used these rectangle rings, and they worked just fine. It's a little tight right here, but they worked fine. I also wanted to tell you guys that I used the lavender and twine handle pattern that they have. It's completely free. There's a tutorial on YouTube, so you can see. I still got stuff on my hands. So you can see, you know, how to put it together and everything. And it really made these purses look really nice. If you're wanting that extra little oomph, I would definitely recommend that lavender and twine handle to go with these. It just kind of like gives it an extra up a notch. Alright, so I know that wasn't my normal video of going through and showing you guys step by step on how to make everything. But hopefully you can kind of see what kind of bag it is and putting it together from some of the clips. I do like this pattern a lot. There's just a couple of things. When you guys are sewing your lining and your outside fabric together, I would start at 1/4 of an inch and then work your way up to 1/2 inch. I may have missed that in the pattern, but when I did 1/2 inch all the way from the beginning to the end, to the rest of the around, I found it was really hard to get this fabric on the inside flipped over and just kind of tucked in. It was just not, it was just too tight. So starting at 1/4 of an inch and then kind of working to 1/2 inch was a whole lot easier. It made the hole larger to be able to get that tucked in. Also make sure that you follow the pattern as far as getting the bottom to end. I really struggled with the bottom of this purse, and I don't know why. I can't remember if I've ever done it that way before or not, but anyway, I struggled. And it's okay, because this is why I'm doing these pattern reviews. This is why I'm getting new patterns, because I need to learn these techniques. So just make sure that you follow the pattern on the bottom, and just kind of take your time putting the bottoms together. It will come together eventually. It will come together eventually, I promise. Anyway, I also added the, was it Lavender and Twine's little strap. Hopefully you can see that. Their little strap pattern they have is free. It just took these purses like up an extra notch, and they look really nice. So I think they're gonna sell fast. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, or if you want to subscribe and see some of the other patterns that we're going to be reviewing this year. It is my goal to at least get one pattern a month. Hopefully. We'll see. I want to learn some new skills, and I want you guys to kind of follow along. I'll let you know kind of what things that I'm learning while I'm going. That was a learning experience on its own. But it was a good learning experience because I like how she put that together. So anyway, you can subscribe, or if you have any questions, comments, just leave those in the comment section down below. I do check those daily. Thanks for joining us again on Faithworks Designs. Bye guys.